So this is me dressed up for my first day of winter. Not happy. Two toques, four shirts, two pairs of pants. Probably only like -5. But I'm that guy. And it's really early in the morning. I look like trash. It's okay. It's okay. So I was kind of like sometimes when I wake up, okay, no, every day when I wake up, I go and grab my fat. And it's one of those things. And it's because I've never really been like skinny person, so I've never gotten to see like it's just a weird way of thinking, I think, here. Because I grew up my entire life is that like fat chubby kid. I was told like, oh, it's okay. Some people are not meant to have six packs. Some people just are built this way, or you have bigger bones, or that's the reason you weigh more. Like there was a lot of oh this, oh that, or like even the fact that and this must be something that I probably have to like look back on. But I can tell you my mom used to go, "Oh, I like guys with a little bit of extra meat on their bones." And I don't know if that was just a way of her like saying like, "Hey, don't worry, you're a little bit bigger, but women will still like men with meat on their bones" type thing. And I'm thinking, hmm, like that. Ugh, sorry about that. Like I said, it's really early in the morning before I go out and start shoveling everyone's walks for the next 6 hours. So it's gonna be a long morning. But yeah, like I was saying, like so I think the a stigma of just my mom going, "Oh, it's okay, it's okay." I'm gonna tell you my whole entire life, it's like I can tell you how many times I fell in love. So the first person I ever fell in love with, she man, I chased that girl for I got like an 8 year cycle, it seems like when I chase women. It's probably a really unhealthy attachment cycle, and I should probably get rid of that. So that's probably something I need to learn and figure out. But so it was like 8 years. I don't even know. It was a long time. I met this girl in probably grade 7 or 8, and I literally chased her all the way up till university, which was crazy. Nice girl. She knew I loved her. I really loved her. But, you know, she just wanted friendship and I wanted more, and that's kind of the paradigms of life, I guess. Sometimes things line up, sometimes things don't line up. But then I was like, okay, like you get over that. And then you go and you date a few women and you go, oh, I love these women. And then it breaks up and you have to go through the heartbreak and shit. I don't really know what the hell love was back at that time. I think you just giving me attention. I was in love. That's probably how it was, to be honest with you. So it was like that. And then, I when I tell people like energy and I remember things and stuff like that. So I can remember it was a stampede. Like I said, I was a slut back in the days. I don't know. I could pick up women really easily, but it was like women never wanted to date me. It was just more so hit it, quit it, next type thing. So I guess I was just a fun toy. I guess it works for both ways. I got my satisfaction and I get used. I don't know. So you get the highs and the lows of that, thinking that people actually want to be with you for a certain reason, but then they just want to get their socks rocked. I guess it is what it is. But yeah, I remember it was like the Calgary Stampede, and we're on a pub crawl, And I was coming down into like the last year of university, and we go out. It's my buddy's birthday. Just an interesting night altogether. We eventually get onto the pub crawl as bus leaders. We are trashed. And when I say trashed, I think me and him drank like a 2-6 of vodka each at 10, 11 in the morning. We were trashed. So we get on the pub crawl and we ended up in this one bar and they had stairs. I fell from the very top stair all the way to the bottom. And I can tell you when I woke up, I had bruise from the back of my leg all the way to the top of my back. I didn't feel it that night. That's how drunk I was. But when I woke up, I could not move. I was like, did I break my back? I could not move. It was that bad. So, but I remember very end of the night, we're at a bar called Tequila in Calgary. And when I tell you, I always have had this like certain little intuition to go do something at some point in some time, and I don't know why, and I just do it. So this girl, she's dancing with this guy, and as I walk past, I turn left around, and it was just like a, I just went and walked over to her. We started dancing and whatnot, and she was the last girl I picked up that night. I don't know if I picked up like 6 or 7, but it was a good night for me, to be honest. And so the interesting part was is like you kind of see how like the dating game works. Back at the time, I wasn't thinking I was dating. I just thought I was being a player, playing the field, having fun type thing. And so that kind of was an interesting life lesson because even though I thought I was a player and whatnot, I fell in love with this girl. And it wasn't that I fell in love right away. Me and her actually had to work on it. We had to talk on the phone lots. But she was like the first girl that I actually like said I love you to and that actually ended up being together. That lasted 8.5 years. And the interesting part about that was that she goes, "Oh, I want to have a family. I want blah, 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 blah." And it was weird because I knew moving in with her, it was one of the most stressful times in my entire life. And I don't know if that was just my inner body telling me, like, hey, you should be probably flighting right now. Like, it was like one of those weird intuitions. Like, you knew you loved the person, buying a house with the person, then you knew that you had to grow up. You were on to the next stages of life. And that's scary. I can tell you that's probably scary for everyone. So I'm 39 right now. And where I'm at in my stage of life, I probably should have had kids with the relationship back in the day. It worked out for the better, I think, because when we ended up breaking up, our whole goal and intention essentially was that we would spend a year apart. If she ended up finding someone, it was meant to be that way. I wanted to go travel for a year. And I said, hey, if we travel for a year, just like let's get that travel out of our system because once you have kids, you have to. It's more so about the kids, like and I understand it because I didn't have a lot of like I had a lot of strict attention, but it wasn't so much as like a healthy version of attention growing up. So I don't know, different parenting methods, right? So each to their own. But the reason I'm saying this is because when I listen to myself and how things have gone in circles, and I say that everyone's life is a circle, and once you figure out the circles, it's like each level you have uh a certain part that you have to accomplish to move on to the next level in life, spirituality, 3D wise, everything. Everything has to line up. So my twin flame's young. She's very young. And I fell in love right away. But here's the deal. I friend zoned her. I've never made a move on her. I've been that guy who just said, like, yo, I'm going to wait until you get through your dating stage and then we'll go through this. But you play too many games and I have to, like, can't wait forever type thing. I know that conversation is going to happen. But then when I look at that, it's the same kind of circle that I had before because she was out one night, probably picking up lots of guys, ends up picking me up at the last bit. She's me. I was the player back in the day. So even though the girl that I eventually fell in love with, she had fallen in love with me, I don't know, 4, 6 months into our relationship. It took me about 9 months to a year. So I eventually did fall in love with her, but I, I had a date before I told her that I would settle down. That's how bad it was. I went to the very last minute just to see if there was someone else out there. And there's always going to be someone better. Okay. It's sad. It's true. But then if you have that mentality of going, the grass is always greener on the other side, it gets tough because then you have to become a chameleon. You have to show a different personality to different people because whatever you take from one relationship to the next, it's not going to be the same. It should be a learning pattern or learning how to be within a relationship and the give and take. But here's where it gets really interesting is that with that twin flame, I know her timeline and it kind of does work out with mine. But I also do know that if I go that route, because she is a soulmate, so I do know this. I do know this. I do know that I can get married to her. But that means I want to show you guys my paradigm of life. Because I'm going to tell you, my life is already planned out. Whether you guys believe it or not, when you're in a spiritual awakening, everything is planned out. Everything. Can't even tell you how bad it is. Everything is planned out. And so, like, me and her, if we get married, she has to be close to her family. That's her comfort. I have already figured that one out. Me, I don't get along with my family. So this is a twin flame. We're going to have the same positives and negatives, but we're also going to have polar opposites of everything. So like if she gets along with her family and it took a long time to work it out, me and my family, I'm the black sheep. Plain and simple. I am the black sheep in my family. I'm generational change. I'm the black sheep. The weirdest part is my aunt was probably the black sheep in like the world, but yet they all got along with her and she got away with all of her shit. And she was the worst one, okay? Like her good and her bad, it was like good, bad. So she was literally the black sheep, but I'm the black sheep just because of how I think and how I act. But my other thing is that if you look at like the stories of like Adam and Eve, and I'm not saying I'm like religious or anything like that, but I'm going to tell you like what if that is the path? Because I thought about this last night and I said, okay, Eve is the one who bit the apple. She's the one who went for the temptation. That is what my twin flame did. She went for the temptation. I kept true to my word. I didn't fool around. I didn't look at other people. I didn't eat the apple from anyone. I'm going to tell you right now, when you learn how to like do the dating game, it's different because I'm going to tell you, I worked hard to be a player back in the day. I don't work hard to be a player now. And I can have some of the most beautiful women in my city. And that's not me trying to be egotistical or anything. They've all tried to take me home and I've said no to them. And it's like when they can't use their sexual power on you and they actually have to like earn your trust and build confidence and have conversations with you, I'm going to tell you that's how the dating game works. Because I have no hidden agenda. I'm not taking anyone home. So they know that they have to build that relationship from the ground up. And then they start talking, and you start getting closer. And then like, I watch how women will come talk to me. And once one leaves, someone else will come and talk to me. And it's because they know that I'm not going to do anything. They know I'm out for the angle. I want the marriage. So they all know that I am literally the safest person to go talk to. And I'm going to tell you, I have women from the age of 18 up to 55 in my life right now. And I'm just thinking, this is crazy. but none of them want to date me still, which is still, I get it, which means I still have to go look at myself. I have to do my own inner projections, just the way look at myself, be the best version I can be. And I have to say, I'm going to say thank you to my twin flame for everything she did, even the highs, the lows, everything, because it made me look at myself. I work out every day now, consistently, ever since I met her. Once I met her, I knew that I was going to be on a path to having a wife, family, blah, 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 blah. Even though I know it's not her, I still have to say thank you because I did the working out thing for the revenge body just because she put me in a situation with a very questionable character. And maybe that's not the right way of working out or changing your food habits. But at the end of the day, I did it for someone else, but now it's for me. I'm the healthiest I've ever been. I woke up today, my stomach fat is this much. And when I say it's that much, it's it's getting smaller and smaller almost every my plateaus used to be every 3 weeks. Now my plateaus are about every week to 2 weeks, which is crazy. Means it's picking up quick. I'm only get to that six pack by the summertime, which today's what, January 7th? So today's January 7th. By the summer, I will have a six pack. When you watch your body change from like big round fat ball of dough that's squishy and I was like the Pillsbury Dough's way, woo, woo, when you poke them type thing. And now when I look at my body, I don't know if you've seen that like docu music video where I don't know, it's the future or something like that, but he's rock ass chiseled. Like he's got a nice body. I figure if I can look like that by the summertime, wow. Like, don't get me wrong, I'll be that chotch who probably never wears a shirt, looks at himself in the mirror. You'll be, oh, look at that guy, he's a chotch. And I'll go, you know what? How about this? I put in 2.5 years of eating the cleanest diet every day, the exact same thing. Got rid of my sugars, got rid of my fats, worked out for 2 hours a day, did minimum 22 miles and or 2,800 calories. I have to hit both those targets. If not, I do level 18 to accomplish both on the other side at the very end of the workout. So all my workouts are probably 2 hours plus 10 minutes for the last 2.5 years. I'm close to that six pack. It's when you wake up and you flex, and I'm starting to see like everything's starting to lean down. I got like oblique lines. I got top lines. I still have that chub. Like that's the hardest part because I know that your six pack's going to be the last thing you get. You get fat on top of your abs first. That's where it goes. So if that's my logic that you get fat on your stomach first and then the fat eventually spreads out through your body, that means I have to lose all the fat on the rest of my body first before it comes back to my stomach. That's the only logic. And you can say, oh, that's not how it works. And I go, well, here's the thing is like, if I was like, say I just did this, say I could do a million sit ups every day and I didn't work any other part of my body. Are you telling me that like after 2.5 years, I'm going to wake up with a six pack, but big flabby arms and legs and everything? Maybe. I don't think that's how body shaping works because I would think that sure you're going to be burning fat, but you're just building up the muscle. That's the difference. Is I think when you're burning fat, it has to actually come from heating up the fat, the air oxidizing the fat, and then the fat gets released from your body through either air or like 1/8 of a cup of sweat or something like that. Oh, but I think where I was going with this is that the Adam and Eve thing, and when I say I gave my soul to God during this whole situation, it was like I clicked into doing everything the right way, treating people the right way. Don't get me wrong, it's been hard because it's not that I do have a lot of triggers, which is sad because most of them are my family, and I know that I gotta start just saying like, "Hey, you guys are you guys. I'm me." I gotta learn how to. And it's always just that I think we've always been brought up in such a fighty fight family. Like it's just fight with each other, and we didn't learn how to talk or express feelings, or expressing feelings was probably wrong, stuff like that. So, you know, I get it. My triggers are to them, but that's me. I'm also part of my trigger. So I have to learn this. And it's just I think when I gave my soul to God and I started doing things the right way, it's like you almost follow the Bible and you follow timing. And when I say don't follow follow the Bible, I say follow like the right commandments, like wait till you're married to do your thing. And you can go, well, that's kind of oxymoronish of you. You slept around lots and now you're preaching the good word. Yeah, it happens that way. I'm just trying to be a better person than what I was before. So everything I did before, I'm doing the opposite of, because I don't want the same patterns. And that's what I've noticed, is that everything's a pattern. And this one girl, and she's a Leo. And I checked out Leo and Sagittarius. We get along. Everything I've said to her, she doesn't think I'm crazy, which is crazy because I think I'm crazy. And then I'm watching her. She's getting protective. She's telling me a lot of things. And I told her last night, and it wasn't to scare or anything. I'm just going to be very upfront and honest with people. Like, I told her, I said, I think we might be soulmates. I'm like, I have a good friendship with you. It's just friendship. We may do the odd hug. Like, I know about her life, and it's starting to get where she's picking up, telling me a little bit more things, and she knows that she has to work on herself. And I think she's starting to see that, like, I might be a good catch at the very end of this. And when I look at her, she's beautiful. She's beautiful. She's absolutely beautiful. I've always wanted a beautiful blonde. I don't know, blondes were my thing. I just never could get blondes, which was interesting. I could get the whole flock of the world, but I could never ever land a beautiful blonde. Now I got a few of them, which is crazy. But the fact is she's very loyal. I told her, I said, like, I'm not staying here anymore. I said, I'm done with Lethbridge. I said, the fact that I stayed for love the first time, I wish I would have known the whole story, because if that was the case, I probably would have left 3 years ago and not gone through all of this, because I wouldn't wish this on anyone. When you have like a spiritual awakening, you have a twin flame, you live life sober, you change everything. You go through the paradigm of, if you stay for love in Canada, you're staying for Canada, your family, and that cycle. That was 3 years ago. I know this cycle comes back up very soon, very soon. And when I told this girl this yesterday, I said, like, she goes, oh, well, I got to work on myself. I'm not looking to be anything more than friends. And I said, that's very interesting, because the psychic told me just be her best friend. And that's all me and this girl are doing, is we're just friends. But our friendship gets very close. And I know there's the attraction. She'll go, oh, are you going out to the bar tonight? Or are you going out somewhere tonight? And I go, no, I'm staying home. I'm just going to be a hermit. Try to get the six pack, try to get this business going, try to get my life going. I said, I got to get out of here. As soon as my debt's down to a certain point, and I'm going to tell you, I'm at probably 17 or $18,000 debt right now. Ugh. Like this, shoveling snow for the next 6, 7 hours, it's going to cover maybe food for the next 3 days. And then I got to go do it later on today. And it's going to be starting to pay for rent and utilities and stuff like that. So it is what it is. I'm trying to do this the right way, show people that middle class is done. You gotta think like the rich, so that means you gotta build your own corporation. You gotta do it the tax-free way, and you just gotta play the game. You gotta learn the rules, play the game. That's all it is. But in the spiritual world, this game is going to be a very interesting game, because I had to go through the dark side. And when I say this, it's because this path in my life, I knew about it, and once I figured out that it was either a path of me going with God or the devil. But when I asked the psychic again, I said, do you see paths of God and the devil? She goes, I see paths of light and dark. She goes, if I was in my twin flame where I'm at right now, that means we were both in our darkest points of life, which is crazy because I was coming out of like quitting drinking. I was starting to lose weight. I was finishing up my degree. Like I was starting to change my life for the better. So was she though. But here's the difference. She was starting to party harder where she should have been working on her degree, stuff like that. And you're going to say, you guys met at university? No. She went to college. I went to university. We just happened to both do it during COVID. And that's how we kind of met. It's just through the university COVID scene, right? So that was the interesting part because I don't know. I guess you I wasn't looking for love whatsoever. But it came, it happened, found me in the weirdest place, and I went through the emotions. And I'm glad I did go through the emotions because it shows me that I'm not like a psychopath or a sociopath or whatever those paths are. Because I knew about it. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. I really wouldn't. Like what I went through this year, it's all mental hell. There's no even physical hell. It's just mental hell. It's just get broken down to the very bottom of who you are. And I know that that's because I told God, I said, hey, I'm going to give you everything, which means that he's going to break me down to nothing to rebuild me up. I got it. I got it. And I know I'm coming through. And it's interesting because, so I'm trying to start up a business. And I keep telling people, I can't get jobs for the life of me. I only get certain jobs that are supposed to help me get ahead and move to my next point in life. And so I applied for this one job, and it's about a business development where you help future entrepreneurs to open up businesses, do their financials and stuff like that. Very convenient that that's the only interview I have coming up this week on Monday. It's something like that. So that's going to help me. And watch the timing. It may work, it may not. I'm calling it right now because I'm really hoping that I need an actual job other than labor jobs. I get it. I'm going to do this because it pays for the bills, it pays for food. But that actual, like, just chance to see how businesses are built, learn that experience, pay off my bills, pay off my debt so I do it legit. Because once I get my bills down to zero, even if I don't have a dollar more, I'll take all of my credit and all the money that I can take from Canada. I'm going to another country. I'm going somewhere warm. I'll build up my business company there, but I want to use that credit because I've already built up that credit here. And that's the craziest part is you're going to say, well, why don't you build up a company here in Canada? I don't want to stay in Canada. That's it. I just don't. I rather build up my reputation, rather show people online who I am, so that when or wherever I go, this will eventually link up that people can kind of see. Like I'm trying to make this as an online business. I'm done. I don't want to be in the system. I don't want to be paying taxes. I don't want people to really know where I am. I just want to make sure that I can help people get ahead, help themselves with their habits, triggers. Probably even do. I'm thinking about it. I was thinking about this on my day off. I was just thinking, I'm going to start doing like courses. I'm going to put a course or two together where I show people the steps on how to build a business or different ways of removing triggers or something like that. Like I'm going to try to make a group setting because one-on-one consulting will get me the knowledge and the expertise to get ahead. The groups will get me a little bit more cash to make the business a lot more functional and running. And then I think, like I said the other day in my other video, if I can get to a certain point, my end goal, like I said, I would love to be a perfume and cologne designer. Like I think I have a few good ideas, a few good scents in my head that I think people would like. I've looked into it. I know that it's here, different here, and then that's how you create a nice cologne or perfume. So I've looked into it. Honestly, these morning videos, I like to just rant and go on and talk. I'm glad about 30 minutes ago I looked like a POS. I was yawning. So I'm glad I'm a little bit more awake right now. I'm kind of just waiting for my buddy to call me so that we can go knock off some snow. make some money. It's like God's way of saying, hey, here's a way that makes some easy money. Everyone else is lazy. Go do the work. Quit being a bitch. I know. It's a hard way of thinking, but he's probably right. It's not like it's going to kill me. And if it does, well, then I guess that's one hell of a story. Dude dies shoveling sidewalks. I guess that'd be the end, right? Like, I would hope I never signed up for something like that. Knock on wood. But it is what it is. Yeah, like I said, so this I know that I'm going to get a few soulmates coming in, and I'm going to have my pick. And I've learned right now, for a guy who really knows energy a little bit more than I probably should have ever learned about energy in my life, and I see the feelings and the reactions of people, it gets to a point where you look at yourself and you start looking at people around you and you go, are these people going to help me or bring me down? And I'm going to tell you, when I tell people I'm a self-proclaimed loner, I probably am. I got one friend. I got one girl who's becoming a ride or die. She's just a friend right now. Everyone else is just acquaintances. Family doesn't talk to me. It's like I said, I'm a black sheep. I didn't conform very well. I always did me. I'm a Sagittarius. Go look at Sagittarius. We just wander around and try to be philosophical and figure out things in life and have fun and try to be positive. And but with us, we also like to tell the truth. We will hurt you without hurting you. It's just who we are. I don't know. We don't hide things. It's more of like a pull the band-aid off. Whatever happens, happens, and then on to the next. It's a little bit less of a worry. But like even yesterday, like when I sent that message, and it's funny because I think back in the past when I told like women like, hey, and I didn't even tell her that I liked her. I just said, hey, I think we're might be soulmates. Like that's pretty creepy now that I'm thinking about it myself. She took it well. She goes like she told me her story and everything, and then she goes, but I'm not. She goes, I have to control my. And I said, that's very interesting because the timing is going to work out. And I said, watch this. I said, you still have to go through your stuff. I have to go through my stuff. I said, my life's not fully done with the twin flame yet. I already know that there's a runner chaser. We've done that now. There's a separation, which is you go your separate ways. You work on yourself. Well, she didn't work on herself. I know this. I did. And you go your separate ways and you decide, is that the person that you want to be with at the end of your life? You're going to have to come back into my life. She's going to have to apologize for everything she did. And I'm going to tell you, that's a lot of apologies. I don't know if she can do it. I don't know if she can do it. The only saving grace to her is she's probably going through so much karmic hell right now. Probably bad luck, string of boyfriends, going why is the same thing happening over. She's got to change her ways. And it's always going to be that circle until she changes her ways. She won't figure it out. I don't think she's smart enough that way. She's a very smart girl. She's very smart. But I don't know if she's that smart in spiritual, logical sense because we were meant to be brought together. We're the truest form of love, but it also means you got to drop your egos, drop your masks, drop everything and be able to have that 50-50 like relationship. And mm, it's sad for her because I know my ending. I also know her ending. She's at the dark path. So am I going to stay on the dark path? Only way I stay on the dark path is if she somehow becomes the cleanest, most loyal person in the entire world. She can't. I'm gonna tell you, I know where her addictions are. Can't. If she can, like I said, we're twin flames, which means that she would have had her spiritual awakening, and she could just do it like that, right? That's the other half of the soul. Because I woke up literally and said, "Fine, I'll change all my addictions." For the first like 3 weeks, it was hell. I can tell you, I would go to the liquor store and I'd watch the people come in and out, and then I'd look at them and go, "Ooh," and that was what stopped me was watching people. There was times that I had so many triggers that my grandma would piss me off. I'd go to the liquor store and almost want to break it, and then my whole go-to was F this. I'm gonna just go to the liquor and not deal with my problems. So I bottled everything up. Bottled, literally bottled everything up. And I've learned that you can't bottle things up. You just gotta face the problems, let it happen, understand the situation, understand the emotions, pull off the band-aid, on to next. My sleeping patterns are getting a little bit better because I'm starting to realize like I can't stress about anything in the past. Can't stress about the future. I just gotta maintain my same intensity and progress. I believe that God is saying, "Hey, let's make you who you should be. You want to be somebody who eats healthy, who actually looks good and feels good, and is not wearing a mask. You got to put in the work." And that's what I'm trying to do. Is I'm trying to put in the work. Like I said, every day I wake up, my stomach gets a little bit smaller. Like I'm starting to see the ab lines. I'm starting to see definition everywhere. Like I'm watching the fat. It's starting to come off. Like it doesn't happen overnight. And that's the craziest thing. Is like on this whole journey, I went from fat, getting smaller, smaller, and I'm telling you, like I think I probably started out. It would take me 3 hours to do 6 miles. Okay, so 3 hours. So I said no matter what, my starting point was 6 miles. And now we're at 2.5 years, almost 3 years later, and I can now do 22 miles nonstop in 2 hours. So that just shows you within 3 years where I've gone from 6 miles in 3 hours to 22 miles in 2 hours. That's got to show you how crazy my VO2 is, my oxygen intake is. It's got to show you how good my cardio is. It's got to show you that I'm putting in all this time, these kilometers. I'm building muscle while burning off all that fat, which is energy. That fat took 36 years to get there. It takes a long time for fat to get on your body. It just doesn't happen overnight. Fat accumulates, accumulates. It goes smaller and then bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So if it took me 36 years to get that way, it's going to take me 3, 4 years to get a six pack. And I get that. But that's what people need to realize. That all these people who did the New Year's resolution, I'm going to tell you this. December 27th, now, well, yesterday on the Saturday when I went to the gym, it was pretty busy, a lot more busier than it ever been. My machines have been taking. I'm like going, I know you guys aren't going to be regulars. Like it sucks. I gotta wait for you to get off my machine, and I know I'm saying it's my machine, but if you've put 30,000 kilometers on a machine, you might as well just say it's your machine. I have a Sir machine. It's got a fan above me. The TVs are the right way. The music station's in the right way. It works out. Some people like to get comfortable when they work out. It's not fun working out for 2 hours straight every day. It's not. You gotta keep your mind busy. You gotta watch the TVs, stare at the wall. I do a thing that I stare at the wall. Literally. Don't look at the TVs. Don't move my eyes. I watch people walk past and still try to keep. And it's to control my mind. Once you can control your mind, life gets a lot easier. I'm gonna tell you, like lately, I can't control anything in life except for my mind, working out, and eating. That's it. Other than that, nothing else is controlled in my life. So it'll be interesting. Like I said, this job interview on Monday, I hope to get it because I really hope it's a way for me to learn how to build a successful business by helping others first, which would give me the knowledge and the profession to be better in my own situation. The girl, the ride or die, she's got to get her stuff. So she's got to work on her issues, which it's a big issue, and that's okay. I'm going to be her friend because you know what? I really see a lot of potential with her that if we build it as friendship first, and that's the foundation, and then we realize, like, hey, this is a person that just wants to be there for us, and you do eventually fall in love with the heart, and then the family and everything else is like the cherry on top. I'm okay with that path. Takes a little bit longer. I'm okay. You know what? At the end of the day, nothing's going to pass me by if it's not meant to be. And twin flame, it sucks. Like I know I have that one last conversation with her, and that's on God's time. So when that happens, that happens. That being said, morning videos. I'm sorry about the early rants. 40 minutes. Gotta take your losses before you become the boss. Try to be 1% better. Divine timing. Everything happens on divine timing. Just believe me on that. It's crazy. Divinity Virtue. My name is Dustin Taylor. Let's try to help everyone else to be better. Just move ahead in this world. And I hope everyone has a great New Year's. Hopefully that you guys stuck to your New Year's resolutions because I know there's a weekend. This is where I'm going to start watching people fall off. And it's okay if you fall off, okay? But what are you going to do tomorrow? So this is what I'm trying to tell you. Everyone's going to make a slip up. Everyone's going to fall off. Everyone's going to make a mistake. It's how you handle it. So just remember, everything you do today isn't for today. It's for tomorrow. That's what you need to have the mindset of is I'm going to go work out. I'm going to eat healthy. It's not for today. Sure, you feel good today or you're going to hurt today, but everything you're doing is for tomorrow. The food that you put in your body, it probably takes, I don't know, I'm not a dietitian, nutritionist, doctor, any of that, so I'm just spouting off stuff now. But I think that when it takes, like, I know my system because I know what I eat, when I eat, and bathroom wise, I can kind of tell. Like, I think for the most part, it takes less than a day for your every, and I eat clean, okay? So everything in my body is very cyclable. And I just honestly think that if you know that what you put in your body is going to be done in, say, 16 to 24 hours, you know what's going to come in your body and out of your body. And it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but that's just another rant for another day. Anyways, thank you very much and have a great day. Hopefully, you enjoy your winter and don't have to shovel snow. God bless. Amen. Divinity Virtue. My name is Dustin Taylor. Thank you very much.